Hi, it's Stephen here from Son of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 9 of the November daily draws. So as we close out the weekend and approach a new week, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Forest of Enchantment Oracles. Let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. And we have the Strength card. We have Strength card. This lady here with the wolf. And how she's tamed the wolf here, and she's very comfortable. And this is about inner resilience, strength within. It's about strength of character. It's about discipline. It's similar in a way to temperance, about moderation, preventing excess and extremes. It's taming that wild side of ourselves that can get out of control. It doesn't remove the wolf, like the wolf would be a wild animal here, but she's tamed it down so that its fierceness is not on show. And she's very comfortable, and there's a happy coexistence here. And it doesn't take away the potential of the power and the fierceness of the wolf. It's still there. That's the point. And there are aspects of ourselves that are still there within us. But we learn to coexist with all the different parts of ourselves in a more harmonious way. But we still have that potential to be fierce, to be wild. And there may be times when that is justified and even necessary. But the whole point of the strength archetype is that we decide when that is. It's not out of our control. It's not a reflex, impulsive action or reaction to a situation where we automatically, reflexly, in reflex, lash out or become fierce and wild on the spot without even thinking or wondering what the consequences may be. No, that if there is to be a time when we unleash this side of ourselves, it's of a choosing. And that's the whole point of the strength card, is that it doesn't master or control us. We master and control it. We decide if we show this or not. It doesn't take us with us against our will. That is that inner strength and that strength of character that we're talking about. So what this card is saying is you have that inner strength. You can embrace every part of yourself, and you can live as a complete being with all that entails. The strength of your character and that inner reservoir of resilience and strength enables you to be in control of yourself. That's where the real power and strength is. And you choose how you respond. That is your strength too. You choose how you respond. And if you want to be wild, if you want to unleash a bit of fierceness in defense of something or whatever, That's your choice. And that's the point. It's your choice. You choose. It isn't chosen for you. It's not something that happens without you even, it's just something that comes out of you without before you realize it. No, the strength part of you holds it in and considers how to express it in the best way. So it's not that we don't have times of fierceness, of wildness, of, but it's also having the strength and the wisdom to know when not to be fierce, not to speak out when we're so tempted and we could so impulsively say something, and then maybe it might make the situation worse. We may come to regret it. That strength of holding back until we consider everything involved, that is where the real strength is. And as I said, there's a similarity there with the temperance archetype too. So what this card is saying to us is that through experience of doing this, you build up that strength. There were times when you did act impulsively, you had no strength, you didn't restrain, or you didn't even have the space or the time to consider whether to restrain or not. But we build up that strength through different experiences and life lessons. And then we call upon that reservoir of strength when we need it the most. But we know that potency, that power is there within us when we need to call upon it. It's also the strength of endurance when we feel as if we're so weary we want to give up, but we call upon that resilience in the situation to keep going despite that until we get through it, till we achieve what we want. That's also, it's that stamina, that kind of strength that we are calling upon too. So let's remember that as we close out this weekend and approach a new week. It's all within our power and control. We just have to get used to exercising it and doing it in the right way and using wisdom, discernment about how to respond to each situation we face at the right time in the right way. And that takes some strength of character. And we don't always get it right. And then we have to have the strength to forgive ourselves and pick ourselves up and learn the lesson and carry on. That comes into it as well. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. The Mushroom Picnic. I like this card. This does the very image on this mushroom picnic, where little gnomes or elves or whatever they are sheltering underneath the mushrooms. They're having their picnic and it's raining, but they're resilient. They're showing strength. They're not going to be put off by a little bit of rain. They're continuing with their picnic. They're not dashing indoors for cover. They've got the cover of the mushrooms. They're making the best of a situation and they're sticking at it. They're continuing with their picnic and enjoying it. Look at the smiles on their faces. They're not letting it provoke them into misery and disappointment and maybe a little bit of anger at the rain for disrupting their picnic. No, they're not going to bow to that. They're not going to give in to that. They are going to continue. They have that endurance, that stamina, and that resilience. No matter, even if it rains, they're going to continue their picnic. They're just going to shelter under the mushrooms. They're going to adapt to the situation and carry on. And that's part of what the strength card is about. And I love that. So we do what we need to do to, and that's having the resilience and the strength to continue when we could so easily give up. They could so easily dash for cover elsewhere, forget the picnic, but no, they're so determined to see it to the end. They just take shelter under the mushrooms, and that's the kind of things that we can do. We might not be sheltering under mushrooms, but we could have the equivalent. As we're not just going to give up that easily. And I think that is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 10. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.